It's good news if you're thinking of selling a house, but not so good if you want to buy one. Asking prices have hit a new record high in many parts of the country. On average, they're rising by 9.1% this year. That's according to the property website Rightmove. The average asking price is now almost £250,000, and in London, it's twice that amount at just over £500,000. Joining me now is property expert Henry Pryor. Good to have you on the programme tonight, Henry. And we've got to take all these numbers with a pinch of salt, because the property website would say, wouldn't it, there's increased activity in the market? Well,
they would, but it's a very useful and timely barometer. Every month we get this index from Rightmove, which is the biggest of the property websites. But you're quite right, it's important to remember these are asking prices. So whilst we have sellers asking increased prices compared to last month, and as you were saying in the top of the piece, up 9% since the 1st of January, you need a corresponding buyer in order to establish the true value. And that's we've seen so far this year that actual deal prices have stayed relatively strict.
But so far so good this year for certain areas of the country. What's behind this rise, do you think?
Two things. I think, first of all, it's spring, sap is rising, and invariably we find that asking prices rise through the Easter and early summer. But also the government's initiatives that we've seen, funding for lending, that's kicked in, and their help to buy, controversial help to buy initiative announced by the Chancellor in the budget is starting to stoke prices. Are
you behind that? From some wise words from Mervyn King, the outgoing Governor of the Bank of England, who says this is all well and good, but it shouldn't be permanent, because it's exactly what happened in America, didn't it, with the housing market that crashed and caused the credit crunch. Are you concerned about it?
It mustn't mirror what has gone on in North America, and the governor is echoing what the Treasury Select Committee has said. They shared his concerns that if this were to continue, and to be fair to the coalition government, they've said it's got a 3-year period, it's going to run for 3 years only, but if it were to run for longer, and when it does eventually come to an end, there has to be some concern that prices will fall back again, something to be aware of if you're starting to
so rising house prices are great for people who own a home or are looking to sell. What about people trying to get on the ladder? First-time buyers, are we getting to a stage in this country where it's going to be almost impossible for them to get their foot on the ladder?
It's already incredibly difficult, and we have a slightly detached market with those who are so-called second steppers able to move on up the market because they've got the equity that lenders are seeking. One of the things that Help to Buy is not going to do is just going to provide a lot more money to the people that want to buy the limited number of houses that are for sale. What it's not going to do is supply new houses, more houses, which would go towards solving the nation's housing crisis and help to enable future generations to get a foot on that housing ladder.
So what's your outlook for the rest of the year then, Henry?
House prices will continue to rise gently, will rise steadily. It will become increasingly difficult both for those who want to buy and, more importantly, the third of all people who want to rent a property, either in the private or social housing sectors. Tough times for them, I'm afraid.
Sounds it. Henry, thank you very much.